In this week's episode, what is it? A crispy meat pie fried with that good crust. So good, so juicy, you better come on because it is getting ready to go. Hey, thank y'all for stopping by the barn on a hot day in August. Feel like temperature today? Woo, 117. It'll make anybody perspire. I don't care if you're a polar bear living in Alaska. When it's that hot, you're gonna sweat. We thank you all for stopping by today. And you new viewers, oh, you're new? Come on in here. Let me give you a hug. Welcome you all to our good little community here. Be sure and you hit the dingy-dong bell and the subscribe button because we don't want you to miss out. Now, in today's episode, it is time to turn back the old vinyl records way back to the classic dish. It is meat pies. Miner's pies. What do y'all call them in Nevada, Shan? Pasties. And if you'll stick around, I'll tell you my story about how I come to be who I am today due to the meat pies. People have been wondering, where do you come up with all these recipes? Well, today is your lucky day, Vanna White would say. Here it is. This recipe is in our cookbook, A Taste of Cowboy. While y'all wasn't here watching, I did me a little prep work. I took that old Griswold skillet, but got it pretty good and warm I did, and throwed me in a 1 pound of 80/20 certified Angus beef ground meat there and let it get started. Now, as it was sitting there doing its thing, I took me some cumin, some oregano, some smoked paprika, and some chili powder and mixed it all in there, get some of that seasoning to where it is loving on each other. While it's over there loving on each other, I took me some cabbage right out of the garden. I had me 1 Anaheim pepper and 1 jalapeno pepper, and I laid them out here on this board with a half an onion, and I commenced with my handy dandy hash knife. Now, folks, I'm going to show you how we like to use that, and I like to start with a rolling method first, and then you come back, chop one way, come back and chop the other way, and it will get it done. This is a fine tool to have. Get all them veggies, put them over in there, let everything get to going and loving, and when they get tender, don't think we're through yet because we're going to break out that sauce that gives me trouble in the spelling bee. Every time I hear the word, somebody says, for $500, Kent, please spell Worcestershire. Ain't going to happen. It's the W sauce that works wonders, and we're going to put about 2 tablespoons in there after we turn the heat off. Stir it around, and then we're going to set it aside and just let it get to cooling. We're going to make us some dough to put that meat filling in, so let's get after it. You want to? So what are we going to start with? About a cup. No, I think it's 2.5. We're going to use 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, we're going to add a teaspoon of salt. And I see a lot of them do this on, I don't know what it's for, but we're going to go ahead and do it today.
I think that's if you spilled the salt.
They just don't know. They be
That's
through.
for luck, yeah, or yeah, like it's bad luck to spill the salt, so then you have to toss it over your shoulder.
Well, I done spilled some while ago, so
You already did it.
there we go. That'll make sure that I have good luck when I spill it again here after a while. Teaspoon of baking powder, and get you a stick of chilled butter. Go ahead and just chop it in little chunkies. Don't chop your finger in there with it. Put them in here, and we're going to take one of them crumb cutter, pastry masher deals, whatever you want to call it, and we're going to cut this into that flour until it sort of gets a cracker crumb consistency. So bear with me, it will take a minute. Well, we have got most of that there butter cut in there, and traditionally this was probably done with lard, but I be liking me some butter in my pie crust, and to get them bigger chunks all mashed up in there, I like to do that. I want to put my hands on it method. Just roll it around there. You can see things are getting nearly as fine as sifted flour again. 1 cup of just regular old tap water. You see that pouring technique, Shin? Then we're going to fold it, Dookie, with a spoon till we just roll it around here and try to get things a little incorporated. Then we will get our hands up on it. So we got it to a point to where it looks a little wet, it does. So what are we going to do? We're going to add us some more flour, because you can always add a little to it, but when it's too dry, whoo, folks, it is near a catastrophe. So we're going to get her in here, put a little up on your palms of your hands. Let's get to working that dough around a little till we can get it off the bottom of that little bowl and get to kneading a little. I got a question for you. It's a quiz. It's like a pop quiz. Who wants to be first in the audience to raise your hand? You in the third row, second from the right.
Wait, let me.
He left. He's camera shy.
I don't see anybody.
He's camera shy.
This guy.
Now, when you're making biscuits, a lot of times I don't need dough. But when you're making a pie dough or like a loaf of bread, you really be needing to knead it.
Yep.
So make sure your surface is floured well, wherever it may be. Put her out here. Mash her down one more time. You can see we got a little sticky still left there. So we're going to put a little flour on him. Put a little more on the hands. And let's work him a little more. I bet y'all wondered, the scenery changed, it did. The wagon is here and we in the barn. It was time for the wagon to have some tender loving care. You can't just pull up to the Jiffy Lube and say, hey, could y'all give it a good going over? Because they probably ain't never seen one. Sure, it's a Studebaker, what was once an automotive company too. But we brought her in here, sanded them wheels down. Just went back with a natural wood color tone, little boiled linseed oil. Oh, Studebaker's looking mighty fine. You can see the dough ain't got no sticky left to it. Did y'all ever play that deal, Shan? Hot potato, who gonna catch it? Hot potato, who gonna catch it? No, let's get you a rolling pin. What did we call them from last week's episode? You in the third row, next to the right, close to the back by the exit door. Yep, a husband trainer. That's what. He left again.
No, nobody. Nope.
We're going to roll her out to about 1/8 of an inch thick, maybe 3/16, maybe 5/32. Uh-oh. Pull it on in here, Shan. We got a problem. Look here.
Oh, no.
We can't have that. So get your elasticity back in here. We got a little too thin in the middle. Right. What have we got? A little flower pot. Measures 5 inches across. Here it does. So we're just going to put them on there. Go around here till we get some of them cut out. Then we'll pull the dough back together and we'll make us some more. Y'all know that me and Shan and Biggie and the Duke love you, and we won't be looking down upon you. Do you want to go down there to the store when nobody's looking and grab one of them Pillsbury pie crust out of there and throw it in your basket and take it home? That's okay. We won't tell nobody. So all we're going to do is place about 2 tablespoons right dead center in the middle. 1.5 tablespoons. Don't overload the boat. The lid won't shut. We're just going to make 9 today. It'll make about 12 to 15 depending on how big a circle you actually make and then your meat proportion ratio to that. Let's get these rascals folded over so we can get them sealed up. And you can crimp them any way you want to. Shan, she really loves this method right here. I mean, it just touches her heart and soul, it does.
Yes.
To put the clam bake on them.
Yes.
Me, not so much.
What's your favorite method?
My method is, hot as it is in the barn, we're going to give them a little egg wash right here to make sure they seal. And then we're going to crimp them with a fork. Take your handy dandy little fork. And ain't that artistic? Now these can be baked, but I really like them fried. But you do whatever you want to. We got our little Finex out today. We do, running about 2 inches worth of oil in there. What kind of oil do you say? It ain't Pennzoil nor Trop Arctic. No, it's not. It is a good peanut oil today. Make sure that your fry oil you are using will reach that temperature of 350 to 375 before it ever begins to smoke. So let's load them up in the transferring vessel. Go ahead and chunk them in here, and you can see there is that frying sound has commenced. Lay them down in there gently. And I like to do about 3 at a time. Like I say, takes about 2 minutes a side. You're going to have to flip them over if you can. Roll them around a little bit. Be careful not to damage the vessel. And get them good and crispy. They be fine dining. Woo, they have all been fried up golden, crispy brown, just right they are. Let them cool, put them on a wire rack, put them on a paper towel, paper sack, whatever you got. Let's go ahead and just bust one of these in half so we can see what's in there. That's what I'm talking about. And look at that flaky little crust right there. Now, I remember when I was in the 2nd grade and school was hard for me, folks. I was not a gifted and talented student. I was one of them that challenged and didn't like to read. But I would struggle so much that my mother and the teacher would bribe me. And they'd say, you know, if you do good this week, I bet your mama would take you up there to that old Dairy Queen, see Miss O'Donnell, and get a treat. But I made a C one time on a spelling test. I was so proud I was. And Mama took me up there and she said, you can have ice cream or you can have a meat pie. And Miss O'Donnell, sweet lady she was, come to the window and she said, yes, ma'am, Joy Fay, what can I get for you? She said, he made a passing grade. Let's get him a meat pie. Well, if she hadn't went out of business, I'd probably been a brain surgeon like Jethro Clampett or something. As many meat pies as I like to eat from that woman down there, they were so good.
Wait, you got a meat pie for a C?
Yeah, is something wrong with that?
Well, I mean,
if I'd have made
I get like if I got an A.
Well, y'all had y'all had a different grading scale. It is time to reap the benefits of your labor. Folks, the flakiness of this pie crust is so good in its own, but that good ground beef, when you seasoned it with all them good seasonings, cumin, oregano, smoked paprika, and a little chili powder, and then add that onion and them peppers in there.
Wait, do the shuffle
Took me all the way back to the 2nd grade, it did, with the meat pie shuffle. Say, Big, sorry about it. Duke has quit us because it's hot, but you always work. You're still on the job. There's a little pie crust there, brother. I need you to let me know, and I need some tail wagons. Is it going to get a tail wagon, huh? There we go. Not many. He says it's hot, Dad. Tail wagon ain't doing too good today. Well, folks, we hope you learned something as you dropped by the barn today, because we did, and that was to open our heart and open our kitchen to y'all, and that's what we try to do. As always, I tip my hat to all our servicemen and women and veterans who have kept that flag flying above that wagon no matter where we're at. We don't forget you, nor will we ever, and we thank you wherever you may be stationed in the States or abroad. And we got a special shout out this week to Daddy Jack. I had a lot of folks say they come on to our channel due to Daddy Jack. Well, y'all check him out. This man's up there in Connecticut. He does a lot of fun cooking stuff. You'll really like his channel. Remember what I always tell you when they say something about food is here people will show up? Y'all remember my grandson from the breakfast burrito challenge? You like a meat pie, Cade? He been down there at the cell barn all day. He look a little nasty and hot. Go ahead on and take you a bite, buddy. I think it's fit to eat. What do you think? It ain't got no spam in it, but there's a lot of hidden vegetables. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, they're going to be good for you. We hope you learned something today. And remember, you can find the hash knife and the cookbook right there. Shannon will have you a link down there. God bless you, each and every one. Hope you have a great day above the grass. See you down the... I passed the 2nd grade. Well, I'm just going to tell you, it is hot. You don't have to have the weather to figure that out. We got a clue for you. I'll tell you how hot it is. Shannon had to put the camera in the icebox in between takes. I want to show you what's happening, Shannon. You got it in there, do you? Whoa, looky there.